I'm really losing it now sometimes when the lights go out. Something about the background sound doesn't matter if you're around. Drifting off, fading out. If I was in the ocean now I'd probably drown. Like being underground with the red lights on. Gotta put the foot down and get a move on. If you turn it down, don't turn me out. Keep the light on, I won't make a sound. Coming back strong, or am I just fading out?
Welcome, race fans, back to Project Racing. My name is Webbo, here to bring you today's coverage. We'll start with a very quick sprint race, and we're at the iconic Trial Mountain Raceway circuit. It is Tarmac Terror, and they, of course, driver number 39 gifted the front row for the sprint race on a randomised decision, I believe, with Taffy Dog and Lord Top Hat not far behind. We've got Brum and Coolbreeze on row 3, Tango and Nicky Lauda on row 4, and P. Dios, as we know him to be, Hervas, rejoining us for the start of this round 2 of the championship. Let's look out for everybody. Of course, I'm sure it will all be soft tyres for everybody involved as we get underway then for this Trial Mountain sprint race. Let's get underway. 5 red lights for the sprint. And he's dropped the clutch and go for this standing start here already. It is the Taffy Dog making a big, good, strong launch up from row 2 of the grid, outperforming the yellow Scuderia Ferrari AF Corsa car, and round the outside into turn 1 and 2. We've got several back and forth moments there. Lord Top Hat still struggling to regain control. And it looks like we've got Dios also in the mix there and getting a little bit caught out. Keep your eye on the light blue 296 GT3 on the left of screen as we turn into the corner. It's contact. It's contact, I think, with one of the Team Bad cars as P. Dios goes off as well in the background. So the worst possible start for a couple of drivers there, but it's Tarmac Terror still trying to hold on here with Taffy Dog drawing fully alongside and streaking past after the first tunnel section. There he is, Taffy Dog into the lead of the race then, with Brum having moved forward past the AF Corsa driver as well. Brum on the ascendancy, and by the look of things in his track positioning, could well have been the guilty party in the incident that precipitated Lord Top Hat and then P. Dios spinning out. There is P. Dios and Lord Top Hat stuck way far behind in P9 at the moment. Taffy Dog leads. Tarmac Terror coming back towards Taffy Dog though with a great exit out of the second tunnel as we head down towards Redwood Corner here. Tarmac Terror on the inside line, who have to be careful on the braking, gets a good apex, and Taffy Dog misjudging the braking performance on this first flying lap into Redwood Corner as we head down into these tight, twisty hairpins. It's really important to get the car underneath you as you head through these few corners coming up. Taffy Dog defending hard against Brum. Tarmac Terror trying to hold on to this gifted P1, and he will see this way through from the first lap as they head down towards the final 2 corners. That impact sound was Brum in the bold and dangerous new Team Bad contacting with Barry. We've got the AF Corsa driver being hounded by Superstar Tango, reigning multiple champion of the Tardis Cup. Tango not happy to be down in P5 at this stage of the race. There goes Brum fully alongside Taffy Dog, but he's on the outside line into this treacherous crested chicane at the start of the lap. Flying over the apex there. Brum, can he hold on to not get a penalty with track limits? He's just got it and kept it safe there as once again the all yellow AF Corsa driver way too cautious down onto the apex of the first tunnel, and that's catching out both Tango and Nicky Lauda behind the 2 predominantly green machines here. There's the Austrian flag on the back of Nicky Lauda's roof. It's also got a German flag on there, of course, as well as Nicky in this new bold and dangerous Team Bad livery is absolutely on the ascendancy straight away. On this long straight section, we go underneath the tunnel that gave so much hype. I remember when it was first previewed with the ray tracing effects and the God ray sunlight effects many moons ago. Brum down the inside of Tarmac Terror there for the overtake that secures the lead of the race. Just looking back for Brum, it was Tarmac Terror turning on in to the corner just with way too much overspeed there. Tarmac Terror with the Macedonian flag on the side of the car as well. It was contact with a barrier. I think it was Tarmac Terror, and Taffy Dog comes through as well with a faster run, but Tarmac Terror to the inside lane once again, and it is Tango chasing him down. So Taffy Dog the meat in a Redline Syndicate Racing sandwich right now as we head through to finish out the second of just 3 racing laps here. We've got the number 39 being chased down hard by Nicky Lauda, trying to hold that inside line as well, and Cool Breeze queuing up behind. P. Dios has not caught the train, and neither has Lord Topat. I think time will be running out. Brum leads then with a flying lap through lap 2 as he starts lap 3. The teeth are snarling on the front of his Scuderia Ferrari 296 GT3, and all over the apexes come the chasing pack here. There goes Taffy Dog down the inside. Great run through the first chicane, and Tarmac Terror down to 3rd now. Teammate directly behind him, and now fully alongside him, I think, here for the time being. Tango down the inside into the rock-strewn corner, and it's Tarmac Terror then muscled out by Nicky Lauda into down to P5 from the lead of the grid. It's not been a particularly lucky or strong race from the front row here, as now it looks like Cool Breeze is challenging hard for that P6 side by side down the long straightaway. Might be picking up a distant tow from cars going side by side up ahead of him as well, Cool Breeze, as we head down. Then he's managed to negotiate and navigate himself to the inside lane, and there up front we've got Brum ahead of Taffy Dog, who sweeps around the outside of Tango. Taffy Dog and Tango, long-term rivals here at the Tardis Cup, and we're enjoying seeing them battling as we always do. But we've got some new European-based drivers, such as Nicky Lauda, such as, of course, our race leader Brum, the new team Bad, starting very strong in their new partnership here. They're no strangers to being teammates or to driving this car, it has to be said. Nicky Lauda down the inside into the penultimate corner for a drag race to the line finish, potentially. Taffy Dog will go through, but it's Brum who wins the sprint. Taffy Dog will be chased all the way by Brum's teammate Nicky Lauda. I think as they come to the line, Taffy Dog will just hold on. It's Tarmac Terror in 4th, Cool Breeze ahead of P. Dios. How did P. Dios get through past everybody on that final lap? It's well worth having a look. Way outside, he's down in 8th position, and then we've just got drivers moving aside for him, it seems. Unfortunately, both Tango and the, of course, the number 39 losing out to P. Dios with a fantastic final run through the last corner, and limping home with that damage is Lord Top Hat in 9th place. That was our sprint then, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will just be a moment arranging the new replay for the feature race. We'll be right back with you. Well, thanks for waiting. We are back with the main race then, as we've got 22 laps around Trial Mountain for you. Starting at the back will be Tarmac Terror. I will just try and locate everybody's strategy here. So medium tyres, I imagine, will be the most likely choice for most starters. We've got Tarmac Terror, like I say, qualifying at the back with the AF Corsa driver on the same strategy in 8th. Taffy Dog qualifying in 7th and choosing the soft tyres for Western Sydney Racing, and alongside him the number 15 of Cool Breeze, also on those soft tyres, getting ready for the race. We've got the blue Lumeki and Picom sponsored blue entry here of Lord Top Hat, starting on those medium tyres, as is Brum, who qualified in 4th after winning the sprint race. We have Tango Just checking those tyres. Yeah, we've got Tango in P3. Unusual for him to not qualify on the front row because we have our Austrian-based German racer Niki Lauda qualifying in P2. He's going to start on the soft tyres as well. So Western Sydney and Niki Lauda on the softs. Hervas P. with his Spanish-inspired Ferrari 296 GT3 livery. His team will be the part-timers, himself and the of course all yellow entry. Fairly well coordinated, you have to say, by complete random chance, but Hervas with the fastest lap in qualifying and ready to get underway for our race. It's Hervas, Niki Lauda sharing that front row. 22 laps await this Project Racing Tardis Cup round 2 of the season. As we get underway, we get ready for those all-important red starting lights. And it's dropped the clutch, and it's go, go, go. Good bite initially from the clean side of the grid, as it were, the odd-numbered rows. We've got Hervas P. ahead with Tango chasing down Niki Lauda, bogging down slightly, holding up his teammate potentially into that first flying corner we go. There is contact into turn 1 and 2 once again, but it is mostly to do with Brum getting a little bit together with another driver, I think Western Sydney, Coolbree, starting on those soft tyres and getting the jump ahead. So Coolbree's up to 4th. Niki Lauda fighting with Tango here and getting all over the dirt on the entry into the right-hander with those massive boulders on the outside. The two right-handers in this section of the track, very similarly profiled as Niki sweeps across the inside. I have to say, one of the poor parts of Trial Mountain are these camera angles. I don't know what that's about, but getting away from the start not particularly well would be Taffy Dog in 6th, Lord Tophad in 7th. They of course the driver and Tarmac Terra 8th and 9th, where they started the race, but P. gets away beautifully and has a good healthy sized gap already into Redwood Corner, one of the chief overtaking spots as Coolbreeze tries his luck down the inside on Niki, who nonchalantly says, not this time, not this way, Coolbreeze, and he's puts him behind himself with no lack of certainty there. Brum hasn't added the Union flag or the Welsh Dragon onto the top of his car. He's got his Brum logo, the odd kids show Brum, as he slides through the left-hand tight corner, and we head down the short chute down towards the chicane that ends this track, and it's Brum absolutely stamping on the anchors. Coolbreeze looking altogether a lot more stable, but so I imagine will be Taffy Dog directly behind Coolbreeze and running through. We'll see who manages to survive the first couple of corners here, but it's P. who leads from the start at the end of lap 1. Niki putting himself in harm's way on the outside of the entry into that turn 1 and sliding through, as does Brum. I think we might have a little bit of lag from Europe between the hemispheres here, and there will be no surprise in that at all. P. emerges from the tunnel with a beautiful lead, and it's Tango and Niki Lauda fighting hard. Niki down the inside where he tried earlier on, but running out of room. Tango patiently going outside to inside, the old switchback, and Niki is going to find himself dicing here with Coolbreeze, and Niki ends up posting into the barrier for a second. I think that's lag on the car again. But no, Coolbreeze was deposed in no uncertain terms as he enters the tunnel. We get through this corner, and there's the tiniest of touches, but it's the tunnel wall. It's the edge of the tunnel wall that Coolbreeze ends up being absolutely clattered into. The classic squeeze, unfortunately, as 2 or 3 into 1 did not go. Coolbreeze on the outside there, down into 7th position, and of course the driver hasn't even caught him yet, unfortunately, despite going and turning completely to the right angle. Niki Lauda, Tango heading into Redwood Corner here, and Niki hanging on by his fingernails at this stage. Unfortunately, fair bit of lag on the car, as we can see. I think Niki might have been suffering a little bit with his internet connectivity, or at least his country's connection to this server. Recently commentated on a race where 2 Dutch drivers were kicked out of the server at the exact same moment, and that can't be a coincidence, but that was on ACC, so it's a lot less stable on that platform than it is here at GT7 with Polyphony Digital servers. But it's Lord Top Hat in P6, Taffy Dog in 5th, Brum in 4th, not enjoying the same stretch at the front of the race as he did in the sprint, but he's putting in a fastest lap there for lap 2 at this stage. Well, it might just be for him. It does look like Nicky is sliding through turns 1 and 2, but I think it's not the case. This is Tango, who will be watching Nicky and thinking, I need to be extremely careful if I get the opportunity here to pass. But you know, remember that Hervas, P. Dios on the medium tyres, as is the majority of the grid. Nicky, though, needing to be fairly aggressive at this stage and putting in a purple first sector, so almost certainly wasn't sliding through that turn. And we've got Tango in 3rd, Brum in 4th, and Taffy Dog in 5th positions. Taffy, both Western Sydney silver cars and the bold and dangerous bad car of Nicky on the soft tyres at the start of the race. Lord Top Hat away very well indeed, and staying with the lead pack. Cool Breeze on the comeback in 7th. There, of course, number 39 in 8th, and Tarmac Terror in P9 right now. So the metallic red and Spanish yellow of Hervas here, feeling pretty calm as he missed the first round of the championship, and other drivers took the opportunity to try and gain some points, but he comes back, does Hervas, with a bang, and he's straight back in the lead of our feature race, which is where the bulk of the points obviously are secured. We've got Tango in that 3rd place, and it's actually Taffy Dog starting to watch his mirrors now as we ride with Lord Top Hat here. We've got a little pop-up camera on the dash area, making visibility for those drivers who are using the VR system a little bit easier. Got that extra awareness they don't get in every GT3 car. It's a single spec series, this Tardis Cup this season. Different cars last season, but it's good to have equal machinery and so much less moaning when it comes to the drivers' points of view, and whether anybody has an advantage or looked into a VOP advantage. Lord Top Hat 7/10 faster through one sector alone here than he's been before. Very nice start to proceedings here for him. There's a lot of dirt on the inside of the left-hander after the tunnel. First tunnel, that is. Auxiliary lights going on and then off again on Lord Top Hat as we go under the tunnel section. There's a sort of atrium glass roof to this part of the circuit as well. Niki Lauda staying with Dios here for a while anyway with the tyre offset. We'll see if Niki can string together a race lead challenge pretty soon, but Brum is also getting very nicely settled in here. Little tag on Barry on the way through the corner. I think he's okay. We're running light damage, so the damage stays for a few seconds and hampers the performance of the cars, but then it goes back to factory condition once again. Brum fishing around, looking for that chance down the inside into the slow corners. Again, with the camera work, really difficult with this particular track. I don't know if it's because it's a fantasy track and they've had to limit the map size. It's quite a big track as well, Trial Mountain. That's why we only get those 22 racing laps. Here is Niki Lauda. Still not far from Dios, as Tango and Brum are going to brave through turns 1 and 2. Brum with a full four-wheel drift on the way through. I remember Brum expressed great confidence, as he did at the bus stop death chicane in Dragon Trail, of his technique through the chicane, and we'll see if he manages to keep it all together nicely. I think someone shouted at me over the radio, "Why are you braking for that turn?" I was braking because I don't have the bravery to go through it with just the tiniest lift, so that's probably what was going on there. Pedal to the metal for the bravest of the drivers here, who've done all the right things in terms of practice and technique. Cool Breeze has picked up a half-second penalty just as he catches the back of Lord Top Hat. That's going to hurt. We get the chevron section out of the final corner on the main start-finish straightaway. Not this one. This is the Redwood corner, the extreme northwest of this circuit, which I like to think is in Oregon, in the US of A. Seems about right for the scenery and the position on the map. It's Dios versus Niki Lauda though at the front. Niki would join this just in time. It will try and go down the inside here. It's really hard to make the inside overtake work through the penultimate corner. It does then put you offline for the exit of the final corner. Bit of a tank slapper possibly there for Niki Lauda. And of course, all in equal machinery, it's guesswork in terms of setup and whether that's making a big difference for our racers as we come through then. I'll tell you what, we will join this camera here perhaps for a little while to see. Dios slower through the chicane at the start of the circuit than Niki. Niki able to just plant the right foot with those soft tyres for now at least. We'll see how long they last, and Niki potentially into the barrier, but all cannot be necessarily believed. That is a fastest sector for Pete Dios, personal best. And there goes Niki down the inside, clean and away, and a little side swipe possibly on the run through. But again, benefit of the doubt goes by way of Niki for the lag. Certainly the lag to at least my connection, and it was my replay this time. I don't know if that's what Hervas was feeling as well, but Hervas coming straight back at Niki with a great slipstream run. Right down the outside before the braking zone. It looked like a DRS pass, but we've got none of that nonsense here in our Tardis Cup GT3 races. It's all about driver skill, especially given the spec series nature of a single make and manufacture of car, of course. Taffy Dog in 5th, ahead of Coolbreeze. Coolbreeze making his way back up through the field, past Lord Top Hat now. This is where the action is happening. Stage. We'll go back to Niki and P. Dios Hervas as we head down into that penultimate corner once again. A bit more patience perhaps this time from Niki, not going for the move into that penultimate corner, but again just getting on the throttle possibly a little bit early on the way out of the final corner as we have a look at this off board. Behind him we've got Tango getting better relative to Niki. I imagine now the mediums are the right tyre to be on. Niki's getting understeer. Again, I'll say this with a touch of caution. I don't know what Niki was feeling in the car. Possibly he was seeing everybody else lagging. It's possible. He had absolutely no lag whatsoever. As we run into the right-hander with the boulders on the exit. Let's have a look then. Huge cliff face in front of us, just inviting the rock climbers among our viewing audience to get out of the car and have a go. Behind Tango, there's a decent gap now to Brum. Brum on the mediums, Tango, P. Dios on the mediums as well, just Niki Lauda and those silver Western Cine Racing entries on the softs at this stage. But the softs are starting to be the worst tyre to be on. It's lap 7 of the 22. We're reaching very soon that 1/3 distance, which is your rough rule of thumb for a change to a harder compounder tyre. Roughly last half the length of a harder compound with each iteration. We shall see how it works out though. The tyre profile doesn't necessarily completely drop off a cliff, but there's definitely a noticeable drop in pace. You can see on Niki's lap time counters there, the second through 5th laps, all very similar, all very good, and then suddenly a 55.9 for Niki on that lap 6, crossing the line to end lap 7 now. And back in the 53s actually, so it was just the overtake of P. Dios and the navigating around that caused the problem. P. Dios though with a 53.2 as his fastest personal lap. It won't be this time though, way out on the grass. This will welcome in Niki for an opportunity Nicky a little bit caught out. The wrong kind of corner, that cambered tunnel corner to try and make an overtake at short notice. And I think he was possibly just caught off guard at the entry speed of P. Dios. Didn't feel like the car was going to be able to reach the apex or exit first. And again, just tagging the barrier possibly is Nicky Lauda. I would imagine he's looking at the race distance now and thinking it might well be time to pit for some tyres. Tango in third, Brum building the speed, 54.5 that lap, his best of 53.3. Cool breeze screaming down the straightaway here, 53.9 his last lap, 53.2 his best lap. Very, very good laps at the moment. But here is Nicky Lauda, the man most likely to make an overtake or dive into the pit lane. It's a toss of a coin as to which is the better choice right now. I think if he can't make a pass, he really ought to go into the pits, because he'll be in clear air, guaranteed. Not this time. Passes the pit lane, and then we'll have a little wave down the inside, but back to the racing line before we go for the turn-in of the penultimate corner. Out once again, this time much closer on the exit of the final corner is Nicky. Can we get alongside either side as on the entry into turn one? Will do. There's a clear opportunity to go side by side here. It's very close. Just a lift off through these corners. Try and pressure Dios into making a mistake potentially. And then it's a very late apex to get down to the low side of the cambered tunnel corner. And then we're heading into the Boulder region. On their way through still for Nicky. And I feel like this lap he is going to be held up significantly on his soft tyres. And maybe a spell in clear air might have been the more advisable route through. We've got Brum in P4, so team Bad and Dangerous, the only team to split the strategy. So they either didn't communicate at all, or they made a calculated decision to try and cover off the best strategy for one of them. The downside of that is that you will only ever be 50% correct. So certainly something to be thinking about. Taffy Dog and Lord Top Hat. Here comes Lord Top Hat potentially. He's got his headlights and auxiliary lights on the front. Down the outside into Redwood. You don't see that done very often. That's a smart move from Top Hat there. Up into P6 now. Really getting into a rhythm here at the Tardis Cup. Was a fairly late entrant for this season. There are still, as you can see, spots to fill in the race. So if you do want to head over to we've got project-racing.com, and that will be your entryway into the league. You may have to pass a couple of entry tests or be vouched for, possibly. Tarmac Terror at the back. We've got Taffy Dog in the pits. Nicky Lauda made the overtake. Nicky Lauda into P1. Let's go back and see. Was that into Redwood corner? It looks like it. And smart work from Nicky then. Good exit out of the first tunnel and straight down the low side through Redwood. An iconic circuit here at the wonderful Trial Mountain. And now you've got to wonder whether it's better to stay out, because you've got that clear air in front of you. The worst thing that can happen now for Nicky is his tyres go off, he can't hang on, and he ends up slow and fighting with P. Dios. So he's made the decision, I'm going to go for the overtake. I'm staying out at this point to go through to getting towards half distance now for the soft tyres. They'll be far from the best, but are they better now than the mediums will be over the course of the lap? Taffy Dog still in the pit lane. Remember, all of the silver Western City Racing cars all use the soft tyres to start with. All two of them. I made them sound like a lot more than they probably should have been. Tango in third now, and having to kind of settle in this position. A very strange place for Tango to be, winning just about everything he entered in the Tardis Cup last season. And I think that's good and healthy for the league, but it's healthy for Tango as well to have some stronger competition perhaps. But we'll see if he can hang on through the course of the race. Here is Brum in that P4, trying to go for a double podium in one racing session. Of course, winning the sprint race fabulously. P-Dios having very little luck at the start of the sprint. Just tagging the inside curb and curbstone through the slower left-handers there. It says keep pushing on his helmet visor strip. He's absolutely doing that. We see Nicky stay out again. Absolutely astonishing there from Nicky, running on to the end of lap 10 on the softs. We'll see if Coolbreeze does the same thing. He does. So Coolbreeze quite happy to stay out on the tyres. But you've got to imagine that the softs will go off very quickly if they do go off for the drivers on this lap or the next. It's Top Hat in P6, hasn't let Coolbreeze get away too quickly. He's on the much better tyre at this stage though. You can see the beautiful heat haze off the back of the Ferraris as they come through. It's of course, the driver in P7. Taffy Dog has made his pit stop, so he's dropped back into that clear air in between P7 and P9. Taffy with this sort of glitched number 6 on the car. That is a white and kind of 3D pattern effect. Coolbreeze running, I think it was the 15 in the pink accent colour. Nicky still leads though on this 11th lap of the 22. Out into bright sunshine here. It's quite tough for the VR drivers, particularly. Very strong contrast on very deep dark blacks in the VR helmets. So coming out into that bright afternoon sun here at Trial Mountain, it's quite a challenge. Absolutely stunning light effects as the light bounces off, and we get that sunlight glinting effect off everything. Niki Lauda, lap 11 on the softs. What can he do here? We saw Taffy Dog drop back. There's a nice bit of clear space to pit back out of the pits then. Behind, I would say, P6. But again, Nicky goes by. I'm expecting to see Coolbreeze come on in. There he goes. Coolbreeze into the pits then. Perhaps doing the more sensible option. But what do I know? Look, Nicky Lauda just put in the fastest lap of the race, a 52.9. Followed it up with a 53.2. He's not slowing down at all. Absolutely loving it out there. Really pushing the tyres here. Now on lap 12. He's done his homework, I think. Nicky knows how these tyres are going to react. And P-Dios, just thinking about here what will be in this race. He's quite used to dominating in project racing, P-Dios, through the Webbo Cup, all through the European winter, Antipodean summer, of course. He was showing some outright amazing pace. But Nicky very much seeming to be at one with his Ferrari 296 GT3. Tango playing best of the rest at the moment. Let's see how Tango gets on over the top of the crest there. Brum with an unusual 2-second track limit penalty on this lap. That's going to push him back towards Lord Top Hat's P5 rather than challenging for the podium at this stage. You'll have to wait a while before that takes effect. As I said before, it is just these two continuing their battle. Maybe a sign now that Nicky's pace is struggling, or he's struggling for grip at very least. Let's see, as Nicky goes to the pits. What's going on with Nicky? Why no pit stop, Nicky? Why? But he's clearly slower at this stage here than P-Dios. Tango in the pits, off his mediums, before Nicky votes to cut his losses on the softs. Brum in as well. And who thought that Nicky was going to stay out longer here on his softs than some of the medium runners? Is it genius? Is it ignorance? Time will tell for Nicky. I'm sure that it's genius. As we come through then, Nicky's pace, 54.5, dropped by over 2 seconds on that 12th lap. So let's see, as we're well into within the final 10 laps then of the race. Medium runners starting to pit now. Slowly but surely be coming out, of course, on the softs. Have to change compound, it's the only requirement. But likely some, I think we were not needing to refuel in this race. I think the fuel was just a-okay. Maybe a splash just to top up by half a lap or so, depending on driving style. As we go through then down the long straightaway, and P. Dios continues his relentless pressurising of Nicky. He knows Nicky is a tough customer to try and make a pass. I don't think any driver would object to having that as their reputation. But Nicky is doing the job there through the stump corner. The dead tree on the inside, and we clatter into the barrier on board with P. Dios. Into the left-hander now. Nicky's understeering both to the left and the right. And finally, at the end of lap, no! Oh, wow! Okay. I think that might have been a bit of a fake-out situation from Nicky, and it worked. Because P. Dios started to follow him in, and as Nicky swerved back out to the left, straight into the barrier, into the water bowsers there that line the pit lane. Absolutely shocking from P. Dios to hit the barrier. That will cost him temporary damage, I would have thought. Let's see what happens with Tango, who obviously stopped that lap earlier. He's got his soft tyres up to temperature. How much did that actually cost P. Dios? There's no requirement to fix the car in the pit lane. He may elect to, just out of habit here. As Tango goes by at least one car, he's passed Lord Top Hat. We were expecting that. What about P. Dios? Any damage on the car? No, but he gets a 3-second penalty for that infraction. 3-second off throttle penalty. Down the next trip of the start-finish straight will be P. Dios. Does that hand a provisional win here to Nicky Lauda, thanks to those outrageous tactics of a dummy shake into the pit lane? I don't think that was pure lag. I think that was potentially a tactic from Nicky. Outstanding work. Here comes Brum out of the pit lane behind the of course the driver on his old tyres, and Brum keen to make the pass here as quickly as possible. He's losing time to the provisional podium. Makes his way by, does he? Not quite. Had to get on the anchors a little bit earlier, perhaps just timing his run here so he can make full use of the slipstream. Seemed to be a bit slower off the corner, I think, because of that narrower line. We're going to go for it into Redwood. The door is open. Hopeless defence that time. It's a great view out the back of the car, even with Team Bold and Dangerous's colour choice here. Really cool. I really like this one. And there's Lord Top Hat and our brightly coloured team drivers here. Good to see. Nicky finally decides to go into the pit lane. So Nicky's gone in. Everybody pretty much behind him, exception of P. Dios, I want to say, has made their pit stops. No, P. Dios has made his pit stop. Has just been passed by Tango because of that 3-second penalty. He had a huge lead over Tango, and P. Dios unfortunately drops back massively behind Tango, who is no slouch whatsoever. And if you are relying on Tango to make a mistake, you'll be waiting a long time. 152.993 is Nicky's fastest lap of the race. Dios climbing all over, and he's picked up another penalty. Not learning, he's pushing so hard here, P. Dios. And he's straight back onto the penalty count. So that could be a very decisive moment where he loses the win of the race. Getting that second consecutive penalty as Nicky is way ahead here. looks like that strategy has worked fantastically for him. Took a while to get into the lead, took his opportunity, built his gap, and then hung out on the tyres longer than anybody thought was possible. And we'll see what he can do now on his medium tyres. An awkward situation to go from high grip to low grip tyre choice, but I'm sure Nicky is able to rise to that challenge. We've got Tango. It's about to be 7 laps to go, just coming through the final couple of corners on this 15th lap. And Tango will go further away from P. Dios as we go into that penultimate corner and final corner. It's kind of a chicane. It's actually just a really, really slow, awkward pair of corners here. As P. Dios there, see those yellow chevrons, and he will just drop out. And that's so painful, as it hurts you in the moment. It hurts you all the way to turn 1. Brum will be looking at that and thinking, you know, if he makes another mistake like that, I'll be right there with him, and I might get a double podium for my new team. Here comes Lord Top Hat challenging the yellow entry. Cool Breeze has dropped back there as well after his pit stop. Beautiful sound out of the Ferrari power plant. And then straight into the back of the rather slow AF Corsa driver. Perhaps we should have a second look at that. I think we get a little side swipe as well. I think this is just poor positioning from the number 39. Yeah. Sideways, and then you're just in a blind corner, trying to get off the racing line, and boom, Taffy into the side. I think that was damage on Taffy's car as well. So just logging a pretty horrendous day, it has to be said, in the race seat. But we were having a laugh on Team Radio. You can actually check out the multi-POV angle of this race as we broadcast, and all the Team Radio courses on my channel. That went out live. So just go back to have a look at the playlist that incorporates the Tardis Cup, and you'll find all that Team Radio, not Team Radio, race radio for the whole field. And we always have a good laugh as a cohort here. Nicky looking very good. P1 closing in on 4 laps to go then in this feature race. Tango trying to maintain that distance back to P. Dios that he's managed to earn, thanks to P. Dios making a couple of track limit or penalisable mistakes anyway. Let's have an opportunity here with the gaps at the moment to get up close with this livery from P. Dios. See the Spanish iconography. Looks good in the sunshine. Very, very good indeed. And this bald and dangerous Team Bad with the Brum sticker on the roof there. Grid Lab is a venture that Brum is designing himself around car setup for GT7 and other platforms, I believe. I can ask him about that if you wish to. And then the Western Sydney with the pink number and the Spotify sponsorship is driven by Cool Breeze. He's managed to finally get by Lord Top Hat. I don't know how long ago that was. Let's see if that was just most recent trip through the final corners, possibly. No, it wasn't. No, okay, never mind. But he gets past Lord Top Hat anyway. Top Hat now on the soft tyres, Cool Breeze on the mediums, on the alternate strategy here today. Looks like Top Hat with a good run. Oh, he really needed that late apex. He maintained good speed coming through the left-hander prior to the tunnel. Now should get a good slipstream on the back of the identical aerodynamic car in front of him. Cool Breeze puts him to the outside. Top Hat slightly ahead on the way into Redwood. That'll be good for the braking zone. He's not short on bravery, Lord Top Hat. tries to sweep around the outside, has the inside line for the first part of this next turn and gets ahead. Wow, that took a bit of cooperation from Coolbreeze, but a great example of close and respectful racing from both of them. Really good work, and of course Coolbreeze lives to fight another day instead of causing an accident by making contact. So bravo to both, I think, in that instance. There is Lord Top Hat then up to P5. I think he'll be pretty happy with the state of the race so far, coming through to finish out this lap to go on to lap 18 of the 22. It's Taffy Dog in P7, having a fairly quiet race. Taffy Dog, I haven't seen anything dramatic from him, but picking up points hopefully for Western Sydney Racing, unlike this guy and possibly this guy. Tarmac Terror hasn't had a very busy day at the wheel, but there's a pretty big gulf in ability, it seems, at Trial Mountain at least, and maybe there's a big gulf in practice time as well. I don't know, I'll have to chat with Tarmac Terror there. Niki Lauda leading the race by a very comfortable margin at this stage from the Redline Syndicate racer number 3 of Tango. Tango very keen to put his championship back together, of course, and picking up pieces while the Europeans entangle themselves in issues will certainly help with that plan. P-Dios, I think he's starting to catch Tango. Oh no, not quite. There's a small amount of delta over the last 2 or 3 laps between them, but not enough, you fancy, to really be in the danger zone here. But who knows, as we get into the very final 3 laps of this race, it's all to play for, particularly for P2 at this time anyway. We'll stay with these two, I think, right now. And use one of these cameras for a while. It's quite fun looking left and right, and then rear cameras from these two. But yes, as we go through that cambered tunnel section, little sound from contact with the curbstones. Entire track lined with these horrible super low curbstones, apart from that one bit on the left there. So easy to make contact. You can actually make contact with the giant boulders as well if you try and get too close to them. It's well worth being cautious and leaving an extra half a metre for safety. All the way up to 170 miles an hour. I don't know what that is in kilometres. Sorry, Aussie friends. One of the few things that the Aussies and the Brits don't have in common is the use of miles per hour. 51.6 that lap from P-Dios. 51.6 that most recent lap from him. And he is absolutely thrashing this Ferrari. Can he hold on to some tyre grip to launch an attack here to try and at least get P2 out of this race on his return to Project Racing after missing round 1. Not his usual race car, this Ferrari 296 GT3, but the best drivers adapt very, very quickly, and the ordinary drivers tour around in P8, generally speaking. Here comes P-Dios then, massively close. He's still all over the apex at turn 2, trying to get that chance to make the overtake here. Tango implacable as ever, positioning the car in such a way that it forces P-Dios to commit to a wider line, but this time from the outside to the inside for P-Dios, cracking overtake really. There is a tyre differential between the two of them, but that was beautiful from Dios and Tango on the same tyres, excuse me, on that one. So a really good one, but will Tango be able to get that slipstream now? Fantastic camera angle there for our run down the longest straightaway here at Trial Mountain. And it's just super sweet sounding through the tunnel. Side by side, down through Redwood we go. Can Tango put the squeeze on? They trade a little bit of paint going through here. That's dangerous when you're racing someone from a different hemisphere, but they survive as Tango stays ahead this time. Amazing stuff from these two. So will we see it happen again, repeat itself on the next 2 laps as well? Nicky finishing out his lap 20. Diaz climbing all over the back right now. Again, a little tag on the barrier possibly from Diaz as he chases down Tango. Tango holding firm, middle of the track here, not overcommitting one way or the other. It's not really an overtaking spot into 1 and 2, but you can build towards 1 through 3, and certainly into 4. High side or low side through here. On board with Diaz. So easy for the car to get light on its rear axle through that turn 4 in the tunnel. One way, then the other. Needs a really good throttle application through here as Tango swipes across the front, but that causes a problem. We've just got a quick glimpse of Nicky up ahead on his medium tyres, don't forget. Where the absolute fastest lap belongs to the driver. We are sitting as a somewhat unsecured passenger here. But he was 2 seconds slower than that on the previous lap as he and Tango went side by side for several corners. Nicky 53.3 that last lap, 53.7 for Tango. Very similar for Diaz, of course, as they're almost on a tow rope through the left-hander. Very slow, awkward corner, that one. Heading down in towards another very slow, very awkward left-hander we go. So easy to outbrake yourself through there. Try not to get too greedy over the grass verge on the apex through the final corner. And we start now the final lap of this race. And what can P. Diaz do? Will Nicky hold on all the way to the end? The rest of the positions do look pretty certain at this stage. Brum in 4th, Little Top Hat in 5th, Cool Breeze in 6th, Taffy Dog in 7th, with the AF Corsa 39 between Taffy and Tarmac Terror at the back there. So we have P. Diaz hounding. Is he planning to get the best out of the slipstream? Please just tag that curbstone again on the exit of the boulder left-hander as we head under the tunnel, and this is the important one for the power down. Both drivers on a very similar line there. Will Tango weave to one side here to try and stop the slipstream? It's a slight movement. It is a movement there, no doubt about it, but there's a car width on the inside. We commit to the outside despite the fact that there was room. And what happens now as we head into that Redwood corner? Tango not too worried about the apex as he's on the inside line, focusing on being in the right place on the exit. This is a nail biter to a finish. Absolutely nose to tail we go, which is absolutely what we want to see here. We're not seeing much of it throughout the rest of the field, but here is the battle as we head through this slow left-hander, and then it's all about the entry into the final corner. We'll stay with them as we go into that braking zone. P. Diaz on the outside, Tango holding firm on the inside line. Can he stop the car at the apex to stop the run here? P. Diaz with the better driving line on the outside of the corner. It's Nicky Lauda who takes the win at Trial Mountain round 2. It's anybody's across the line. Diaz is just ahead of Tango. We've got to see how close that was. Insanely close from the two of them. and Brumholm in his new Bold and Dangerous team's car in P4. 1-4 for the new team here. Lord Top Hat on the throttle. No matching livery teammate here for Lord Top Hat, but he comes home in 5th. A very good day's work. I think the Western Sydney outfit might be a little bit frustrated, probably even more so right now, but it's Cool Breeze home in 6th. It's Taffy Dog who can make a couple more of those spins if he wants to and still finish home in 7th. And we've got Tarmac Terror home, who will be the last placed driver at the end of the race. Nicky Lauda, Pablo Dios, Hervas in 2nd, and Tango in 3rd. Congratulations to Nicky and to Team Bold and Dangerous for the win. Fantastic stuff from them. We will try and get you some standings for the next round once we get into it. We will be off to, let me just confirm this. So, race schedule. We will be off to Circuit Sardinia Road Track A on Sunday 17th of May live, hopefully on my channel if all is well. And Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the 24th of May. So hopefully we will be able to see you there. And from me, Webbo, from us here at Project Racing, thank you so much for watching. We will catch you on the next race day.